Well, Trooper Curdu says he knew the moment that he was shot. He could feel the pain, but he says he was never in fear. He always trusted his team, and now he's thanking those who saved his life. As you can imagine, Yolanda Sanders still trying to come to terms with what happened to her son. She tells me she believes he was getting beat up here on St. James Avenue just moments before he was struck by a car. Well, Lindsay, Dave, fun fact for you, asparagus here in Hadley has actually been served at the White House. Well, Sharice and Jeff, Juliana Ferreira jogged here in Forest Park on a daily basis. She did it every lunchtime while taking a break from work. She says this is the last place she would ever expect something like this to happen. The injuries are visible, scratches marking the spot on Juliana Ferreira's arms where an attacker viciously grabbed her.
I was just frightened, like he obviously was much bigger and stronger than me.
It was around noontime Tuesday when Juliana was jogging in Forest Park.
I could hear the footsteps behind me just because it was he had an awkward gait. And he was big, you know, about 6 feet, 240. So I could hear his steps behind me.
Juliana says the two started moving at the same pace. She gave a friendly smile to say hello, but then got an uneasy feeling. So she slowed down to let the man pass. And that's when things took a turn. He
just out of nowhere, to my surprise, turned around and grabbed me. And I was kind of shocked. I'm like, you know, what are you doing? You know, we started struggling and, you know, he was getting really strong with his grip and I knew like, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble.
She says the man turned around and began to touch her.
He reached down to my buttocks area and grabbing for my clothing and I thought, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like this is going down right here. I can't even believe it. And so I'm like kind of looking around.
Nearby was a group of teenage boys.
And I caught eyes with one of them and I just pleaded. I'm like, please help me. I'm like, can you help me? Just run, get help, call 911, something. You know, I was like pleading.
And after a struggle, Juliana was able to break free.
He grabbed my cell phone and took it and slammed it down on the ground. And when he did that, he released his grip and I got away. And poor kids, I ran toward the kids like, you know, running away, and he must have got startled and then he ran away.
Juliana says she is still shaken over what happened and says it will be some time until she returns to the park.
I will eventually. I think I need to have like mace or pepper spray on me.
You know, it can be a traumatizing experience for anybody.
Trooper A.J. Curdu speaks about the moment he was shot by Jorge Zambrano, the man who killed Auburn police officer Ronald Tarantino just hours before.
You know, I hope people support the Tarantinos in the Auburn Police Department going forward.
The former Navy SEAL and father says he ran out of the house Zambrano was hiding in and into the hands of medics with UMass Memorial Hospital.
Luckily, my legs worked fine. My teammates helped me out. We had masks on and it was smoky and so forth, but the extrication process wasn't too bad.
The hospital has a partnership with the state police stop team and works side by side with officers during their missions to provide emergency first aid if needed.
I personally want to thank our 13 paramedics and 3 physicians that provide this service, have chosen to step forward and provide the service.
Having them on scene was huge. Being close proximity to UMass was great. The staff in the ER did an unbelievable job.
As his recovery continues, Curdu says he looks forward to returning to his team.
I'm not giving myself a timeline. Again, the orthopedic staff has done an unbelievable job, and hopefully we'll start physical therapy pretty soon, and I'll be back.
I think we're all in the same boat, really. We all grieve.
It has been a tough couple of months for Renee Herbert's family.
We all struggle. We have our moments.
Back in April, authorities believe Renee died at the hands of her husband. The mother and nurse was known for her loving support and always giving back to others.
As we stood in line at the funeral, a lot of people came through and told us that had it not been for Renee, there were a lot of things that they never would have survived.
And it's for that very same reason Renee's family is working to create a nonprofit in her honor. It's called Worth and stands for Warriors of Renee Thibault Herbert. It would be a 24-hour hotline that would provide trauma-informed support to those in need.
For anything that they need, if they needed just to talk, a lending ear, help to get out of something.
Renee's family says people in domestic violence situations may be afraid to talk to officials about their situation, and this would be an alternative for help.
When they call us, we just want to say, where are you today and where do you want to be tomorrow? And we want to give them the resources to be able to get there.
The nonprofit, just another way Renee can help others through her family's perseverance.
We want people to value themselves, and that's how we came upon it. Know your own worth.
I didn't believe it at first.
Yolanda Sanders remembers the phone call she received Saturday saying her son Zamir had died.
He's nice, he's sweet, he's just everything I am.
The 16-year-old was struck by a vehicle here on St. James Avenue around 2:30 Saturday morning. Police say the teenager and 3 others were horsing around on the road when Zamir laid down in the middle of it as a result of some type of dare. However, his mother is not convinced.
I don't know. It just doesn't, nothing's adding up to me. It just doesn't seem right. I need to know for real.
Yolanda says a witness at the scene told her Zamir was getting beat up in the street moments before the accident.
She's the first car. She's the first person who stopped. And the boys were stomping on Zamir's head. And then he tried to get up, and then he collapsed.
But police say after conducting witness interviews, Zamir's death was the result of what they're calling a tragic accident.
It was unfortunate that this young man lay down in the middle of the street, but it wasn't as a result of any type of a crime. It was because of horseplay. We've looked into it.
As she now plans her son's funeral, Yolanda says she'll be turning to her faith for answers.
We want to continue to pray. I know that God is going to reveal everything to me. I know that. Whoever did it and whatever ever happened, I don't know. What I'm saying is, you better watch out because God is more powerful than anybody else. And once he can get you better than I can. I'm telling you.
Once named the asparagus capital of the world, the town of Hadley is known for its tasteful perennial plant.
It's a big part of the town's history, and I've enjoyed the flavor since I was a boy. I feel lucky to live here and have it readily available.
Growing asparagus is not only a job for Sarah Carey and her family, but a way of life. Her family has been growing and packaging it here on their East Street farm for decades. But this year has been slightly unusual than in years past.
Well, we've had a very slow start to this season.
Asparagus thrives off of warm temperatures, and after a mild winter, Carrie thought she would be picking it early. However, that is not the case.
When it's cold, it really slows it down, and unfortunately, we've had a lot of cold, rainy days, which keeps it slow and steady.
But Carrie says with Mother Nature slowly cooperating and bringing in the summer heat, she has a more hopeful outlook on the rest of the season.
Eventually, when it's into the 80s and 90s, we'll be swimming in asparagus. There'll be so much